You have prayed for healing, and nothing has changed. You have cried out to God about your pain and your sickness and your suffering, and it seems like your prayers have fallen on deaf ears. You have watched others receive their miracles while your body continues to break down organ by organ, system by system, and you have wondered in your darkest moments whether God has forgotten about you, whether healing is meant for everyone except you, whether there is something fundamentally wrong with you that makes you unworthy of the restoration that others seem to receive so easily. But I tell you today that the problem has never been your worthiness. The problem has never been God's willingness. The problem has never been that healing is unavailable to you. The problem is that no one has ever taught you how to direct healing prayer to every specific area of your body that cries out for restoration. No one has ever shown you how to speak to your heart and your lungs and your liver and your kidneys, to your bones and your blood and your brain, to every organ and every tissue and every cell that needs the touch of the infinite healing presence that is available to you right now. There is a healing prayer so powerful and so complete that it can reach into every area of your body, into every organ and every tissue, into every cell and every fiber of your being, bringing the restoring light of God's infinite healing presence to places that medicine cannot touch, to depths that surgery cannot reach, to hidden corners of your physical form where sickness has taken root, and where only the divine power of prayer can go to dissolve every ailment and restore you to perfect, radiant, God-given health. You have within you right now, at this very moment, a healing intelligence that knows exactly what every part of your body needs, that understands precisely how to repair every damaged cell, that possesses the complete blueprint of your perfect health, and is ready, willing, and able to rebuild your body according to that divine pattern whenever you give it permission through the sacred act of healing prayer. The reason so many people suffer with chronic conditions, with persistent pain, is not because God has abandoned them, is not because healing is unavailable to them, is not because their bodies are beyond repair, but because they have never learned how to direct the infinite healing power of prayer to every specific area of their body that needs restoration. They have never understood that prayer can be focused like a beam of healing light to illuminate and transform any organ, any system, any part of their physical being that cries out for wholeness. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been suffering from problems in several different areas of her body, that she had pains in her back and weakness in her heart and trouble with her digestion, that she felt overwhelmed by trying to pray for so many different conditions at once, and Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that she did not need many different prayers for many different problems. She needed only to understand that the same infinite healing presence of God could reach every area of her body simultaneously. That when she opened herself to divine healing through sincere and faithful prayer, the healing light would flow to wherever it was needed, addressing every condition, restoring every organ, rebuilding every tissue according to the perfect pattern that God had established for her body from the very beginning. Your body is not a collection of separate and unrelated parts. It is a unified temple of the living God, a sacred dwelling place of the infinite healing presence that created you and that sustains you and that is ready at this very moment to restore every area of your being to its original state of perfect health and harmony. When you pray for healing, you are not begging a distant God to send down some magical cure from the heavens. You are not hoping that some supernatural force will interrupt the laws of nature on your behalf. You are activating a power that already exists within you. You are calling forth a healing intelligence that is already present in every cell of your body. You are giving permission to the divine wisdom that formed you in your mother's womb to continue its perfect work of creation and restoration in every area of your physical being. The healing power that can mend a cut on your finger is the same healing power that can restore your heart. The intelligence that knows how to fight off infection is the same intelligence that can dissolve tumors and rebuild damaged organs. The life force that flows through your blood and animates every cell of your being is the same life force that can drive out every disease and establish perfect health in every area of your body when you learn to cooperate with it through the mighty force of prayer. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been diagnosed with problems in his lungs and in his liver and in his kidneys, that he felt like his whole body was falling apart at once, that he did not know where to begin praying because there seemed to be too many areas that needed healing, and Dr. Joseph Murphy explained to him that he should begin by recognizing that the same God who created all of these organs is present within all of them right now, that the healing presence does not need to travel from one organ to another but exists simultaneously in every part of his body, that when he prayed with faith and conviction, the healing light would illuminate every darkened area, the restoring power would flow to every place of weakness, and wholeness would be established throughout his entire being. The prayer that heals every area of your body is not a complicated formula that requires years of study to master. It is not a secret technique known only to priests and spiritual masters. It is a simple and sincere turning of your attention to the infinite healing presence that dwells within you, a humble and trusting acknowledgement that God's power is greater than any disease, God's wisdom is greater than any medical diagnosis. God's love for you is greater than any condition that has taken hold of your body and caused you pain and suffering. When you pray for healing in every area of your body, you do not need to understand the medical names of your conditions. You do not need to visualize the exact anatomy of your organs. You do not need to direct the healing energy like a surgeon directing a scalpel. You need only to trust that the same intelligence that created your body in the first place knows exactly how to restore it, knows precisely what every cell needs, knows completely how to dissolve every obstruction and repair every damage and establish perfect function in every system of your being. The healing presence of God is infinitely wise. It does not need your instructions or your supervision. It does not require your medical knowledge or your understanding of biology. It needs only your faith, your trust, your sincere belief that healing is possible, your willingness to open yourself to the restoring power that is already present within you, waiting to be released through the mighty act of prayer. A woman said to Dr. D.E. Joseph Murphy that she did not know how to pray for healing because she did not understand what was wrong with her body, that the doctors had given her many tests but no clear answers, that she felt lost and confused and did not know what to ask God for, and Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that she did not need to diagnose herself before she could pray. She needed only to turn within and say with complete faith and trust, God knows every area of my body that needs healing. God's wisdom is now flowing through every cell and every organ. God's healing presence is now restoring me to perfect health, and this simple prayer of trust would accomplish more than any detailed petition, because it acknowledged the infinite intelligence of the healing power within her. Every area of your body is known to God. Every organ is precious in the sight of the infinite healing presence. Every cell is watched over by the divine intelligence that created it and that knows exactly how it should function in perfect harmony with every other cell in your being. There is no part of your body that is too small for God's attention. There is no organ that is too hidden for God's healing light to reach. There is no condition that is too stubborn for God's restoring power to overcome. Because the presence that created the universe and hung the stars in the heavens is the same presence that dwells within your physical form and cares for every aspect of your health with infinite love and infinite wisdom. When you understand this truth, when you truly grasp that the Creator of all life is personally concerned with the health of your heart, the function of your liver, the strength of your bones, the clarity of your mind, you will never again feel alone in your struggle for health. You will never again feel abandoned to your diseases. You will never again feel that healing is beyond your reach. A man said to Dr. Wallace, Joseph Murphy that he had always thought God was too busy with important cosmic matters to care about his personal health problems, that he felt foolish praying about his stomach pain or his aching joints when there was so much suffering in the world. And Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that this was a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of God, that the infinite is not diminished by attending to the finite, that God's love for the whole of creation does not reduce God's love for any individual part of it, that the same power that sustains the galaxies is fully present and fully available to heal every area of his body, because in the eyes of the infinite, nothing is too small to matter, and no one is too unimportant to heal. The healing prayer for every area of your body begins with recognition, with a conscious acknowledgement that the infinite healing presence of God is already within you, already operating in every cell, already working to maintain and restore your health even when you were not aware of it. Even when you have never thought to ask for help, even when you have lived your whole life without understanding the tremendous power that resides in your own being. This healing presence does not need to be imported from outside. It does not need to be earned through good behavior or purchased through religious rituals. It is your birthright as a living being. It is the natural inheritance of everyone who has been formed by the creative power of God. It is present within you right now, regardless of your past, regardless of your beliefs, regardless of how sick you may feel or how hopeless your condition may seem. When you begin your healing prayer by recognizing this presence, by turning your attention inward and acknowledging that God dwells within every area of your body, you create an opening through which the healing power can flow more freely. You remove the mental blocks that have been obstructing your restoration. You align yourself with the truth of your being, which is that you were created for health. You were designed for wholeness. You were meant to experience the full and radiant functioning of every organ and every system that makes up your physical form. A woman said to Dr. Pella, Joseph Murphy, that she had tried many prayers but nothing seemed to work, that she felt blocked somehow, that it seemed like her prayers were bouncing off the ceiling and never reaching God, and Dr. Shalpo, Joseph Murphy, told her that her prayers did not need to travel anywhere because God was not in the ceiling. God was within her, and the moment she recognized this truth and began her prayer by acknowledging the healing presence already dwelling in every area of her body, her prayers would gain a power they had never possessed before. The healing prayer that reaches every area of your body must be spoken with feeling, with conviction, with a deep inner sense that the words you are speaking are true and powerful and capable of transforming your physical condition from sickness to health, from disease to wholeness. Words spoken without feeling are like seeds scattered on barren ground. They may contain the potential for life, but they will never take root. They will never grow. They will never produce the harvest of healing that you so desperately desire. When you pray for healing in every area of your body, you must feel the truth of what you are saying. You must sense the presence of God moving through your organs and your tissues. You must experience in your imagination the restoration that you are requesting. Because feeling is the language that your subconscious mind understands. Feeling is the medium through which your prayers are transmitted to the creative power within you. Feeling is the force that transforms mere words into mighty healing currents that flow through every cell of your being. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been reciting healing prayers for months, but nothing had changed, that he repeated the words faithfully every morning and every evening, but his conditions remained the same, that he was beginning to lose hope that prayer could ever help him, and Dr. Joseph Murphy asked him how he felt when he said these prayers, whether he believed them, whether he experienced them, whether he allowed himself to feel the healing taking place as he spoke the words. The man admitted that he said the prayers mechanically, that he rushed through them to get them done, that his mind wandered to other things while his lips moved through the familiar phrases, and Dr. Porfirio Stubb G. Gag, Joseph Murphy, told him that this was why his prayers had no power. that he needed to slow down and feel every word, to imagine the healing light flowing through every area of his body as he prayed, to experience the restoration in his heart. Your heart is the center of your physical life, the tireless pump that sends healing blood to every area of your body, the organ that never rests, that beats for you while you sleep, that sustains your life without any conscious effort on your part. And this magnificent organ responds to prayer with remarkable sensitivity. It opens itself to healing currents when you speak words of faith and love. It strengthens itself when you fill your mind with thoughts of peace and gratitude. It restores itself when you release the fears and worries and resentments that have been placing such a heavy burden upon it. When you pray for your heart, you are praying for the very center of your being. You are addressing the organ that symbolizes love and courage and the life force itself. You are opening the most important pump in your body to the healing presence of God that knows exactly how to repair every valve, strengthen every muscle, clear every artery, and establish perfect rhythm and function in this most vital of all your organs. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been diagnosed with a heart condition, that the doctors had told her she would need to limit her activities and take medication for the rest of her life, that she felt like a prisoner in her own body, afraid to exert herself, afraid to live fully, afraid that every beat of her heart might be her last. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught her to pray for her heart with love and gratitude, to thank God every day for her faithful heart that had served her so well for so many years, to visualize healing light surrounding her heart and filling it with strength and vitality, to speak words of blessing to this magnificent organ and trust that the infinite healing presence knew exactly how to restore it. Within a few months of faithful prayer, her condition began to improve, her symptoms began to diminish, her doctors were amazed at the change in her test results, and she learned that her heart was not her enemy, but her faithful servant that responded beautifully to the healing power of prayer. Your lungs are the organs of breath, the sacred gateway through which the life-giving air enters your body and fills every cell with the oxygen it needs to function and thrive. And when you pray for healing in your lungs, you are praying for the very breath of life itself. You are opening these magnificent organs to the healing presence that created them and that knows exactly how to restore them to perfect function. Every breath you take is a gift from God. Every inhalation is an opportunity to receive not only air, but also the healing energy of the infinite. Every exhalation is a chance to release not only carbon dioxide, but also the toxins of fear and negativity that have been accumulating in your being. When you pray for your lungs, breathe deeply and slowly. Feel the air filling every corner of these precious organs. Imagine the healing light of God entering with every breath and spreading through every tissue, dissolving every inflammation, restoring every damaged cell to perfect health and function. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been struggling with breathing problems for many years, that he felt like he could never get enough air, that he was constantly anxious about his next breath, and Dr. Joseph Murphy taught him to combine prayer with conscious breathing, to say with every inhalation that God's healing breath was filling his lungs with life and vitality, to say with every exhalation that all sickness and obstruction was leaving his body forever. The man practiced this breathing prayer faithfully. He made it a part of his daily routine. He repeated it whenever he felt anxious about his breathing. And gradually his lungs began to open, his breathing became easier, his anxiety diminished, and he discovered that the very act of breathing could become a continuous healing prayer that restored his lungs to their natural state of perfect function. Your digestive system is a miracle of divine engineering, a complex network of organs that transforms the food you eat into the energy and building materials your body needs to sustain itself and repair itself and grow stronger with every passing day. And when this system is not functioning properly, every area of your body suffers, your energy diminishes, Your immune system weakens. Your ability to heal from any condition is compromised. Prayer for your digestive system is prayer for the foundation of your physical health. It is an acknowledgement that God's wisdom operates in your stomach and your intestines just as surely as it operates in your heart and your brain. It is a recognition that the same intelligence that knows how to break down food into its essential components and distribute those components to trillions of cells knows exactly how to heal any disorder that has disrupted this magnificent process. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had suffered from digestive problems her whole life, that she had tried every diet and every remedy and every specialist, that she had almost given up hope of ever eating a meal without discomfort and distress. Joseph Murphy taught her to pray before every meal, not a quick and mechanical grace, but a sincere and heartfelt recognition that God was present in her digestive system, that divine wisdom would guide the process of digestion, that perfect health was being established in her stomach and her intestines and every organ involved in transforming food into life. The woman practiced this prayer with dedication. She felt the presence of God in her digestive system. She imagined healing light filling her stomach and intestines, and over time her symptoms began to improve. Her digestion became more comfortable. Her relationship with food was transformed from one of fear to one of gratitude. And she learned that even the most stubborn conditions could respond to the power of prayer. Your liver is one of the most remarkable organs in your body, performing hundreds of essential functions that keep you alive and healthy, filtering toxins from your blood, producing vital substances, storing energy, and working tirelessly every moment of every day to maintain the chemical balance that your life depends upon. And this magnificent organ responds to prayer with the same sensitivity as every other part of your being. It opens itself to healing when you recognize its importance and speak words of blessing and restoration over it. Most people never think about their liver until something goes wrong with it. Most people never express gratitude for this faithful organ that serves them so silently and so constantly. Most people never realize that their liver, like every organ in their body, benefits from conscious appreciation and prayerful attention. When you pray for your liver, you are acknowledging the infinite wisdom that designed this complex organ. You are thanking God for its tireless service. You are inviting the healing presence to restore any function that has been impaired, to dissolve any accumulation that has burdened it, to renew and regenerate this vital organ so that it can continue serving you for many years to come. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had damaged his liver through years of poor choices, that he felt guilty about what he had done to his body, that he wondered whether God would heal an organ that he himself had harmed through his own foolish behavior. And Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that God's healing power is not withheld based on how the damage occurred, that the infinite healing presence does not judge or condemn, but simply restores when invited through sincere prayer. That his liver could be healed just as surely as if the damage had come from some external source, and the man began to pray for his liver with faith and hope, releasing his guilt and opening himself to the restoring power of God. Your kidneys are the silent purifiers of your body, the faithful organs that filter your blood every moment of every day, removing waste and toxins, balancing fluids and minerals, performing vital functions that most people never think about until something goes wrong. And these magnificent organs respond to prayer with the same sensitivity as every other part of your being. They open themselves to healing when you recognize their importance and speak words of blessing and restoration over them. The infinite intelligence that designed your kidneys knew exactly what your body would need to stay clean and balanced, knew precisely how to create organs that could filter your entire blood supply many times each day, knew completely how to maintain the delicate chemical balance that your life depends upon. And this same intelligence is present within your kidneys right now, ready to heal any damage, restore any function, and establish perfect operation in these vital organs when you invite it through the power of prayer. A woman said to Dr. Barry, Joseph Murphy, that her kidneys were failing, that the doctors had told her she might need to depend on machines to do what her own organs could no longer do, that she felt like her body was betraying her and she did not know how to pray for organs she did not understand. Dr. Copy, Joseph Murphy told her that she did not need to understand how her kidneys worked in order to pray for them. She needed only to recognize that the God who created these organs understood them perfectly, that the healing presence knew exactly what was wrong and exactly how to fix it, that her job was simply to trust and believe, and open herself to the restoring power that was already present within her. The woman began to pray for her kidneys with simple faith. She placed her hands over the area where her kidneys were located and imagined healing light flowing into them. She thanked God for creating such wonderful organs and asked for their complete restoration, and over time her condition began to stabilize and then improve. Her doctors were surprised by her progress, and she learned that no organ is beyond the reach of healing prayer. Your bones are the framework upon which your entire body is built, the living structure that supports your muscles and protects your organs and gives you the ability to stand and walk and move through the world. And these bones are not dead and static, constantly rebuilding themselves, constantly responding to the demands you place upon them, constantly being renewed by the infinite life force that flows through every part of your being. When you pray for your bones, you are praying for the very foundation of your physical existence. You are asking the healing presence to strengthen the framework that holds you upright, to increase the density and resilience of these living structures, to heal any breaks or weaknesses or deterioration that has compromised your skeletal system. The same God who formed your bones in your mother's womb is present within them right now. The same creative power that built your skeleton from a single cell into a complex framework of over 200 bones is available to repair and restore and strengthen any bone that has been weakened by age or injury or disease. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that his bones were becoming fragile, that he had already suffered several fractures from minor falls, that he was afraid to move freely because he feared his skeleton could not support him, and Dr. Joseph Murphy taught him to pray for his bones with confidence and faith, to visualize them becoming stronger and denser with every day, to thank God for the living structure that supported his body, and to trust that the healing presence was renewing and strengthening every bone in his being. The man prayed for his bones faithfully. He imagined them filled with light and strength. He refused to accept that fragility was his inevitable fate, and over time his bone density improved, his fear diminished, and he discovered that his skeleton, like every other part of his body, your muscles are the engines of movement, the powerful tissues that allow you to walk and run and lift and embrace, that enable you to perform the countless physical tasks that make up your daily life. And these muscles respond to prayer with the same sensitivity as every other part of your body. They strengthen when you speak words of power and vitality over them. They heal when you invite the infinite presence to restore them. They function with greater ease when you align them with the creative force that designed them for strength and endurance. When you pray for your muscles, you are praying for your ability to move through the world. You are asking God to restore the power and flexibility and coordination that may have been lost through injury or illness or the simple passage of time. You are opening these vital tissues to the healing currents that can dissolve pain, repair damage, and establish perfect function in every muscle fiber of your being. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that her muscles had become weak and painful, that she could no longer do the activities she once enjoyed, that she felt like her body was failing her and she did not know how to regain the strength she had lost. Joseph Murphy taught her to pray for her muscles with conviction and feeling, to imagine them filled with energy and vitality, to thank God for the ability to move, and to trust that the healing presence could restore what had been lost. She spoke words of strength over her body every morning. She visualized healing light flowing through every muscle tissue, and gradually her strength began to return. Her pain began to diminish. Her ability to move improved, and she learned that the muscles which had seemed so weak could be transformed by the power of prayer into instruments of strength and vitality. Your nervous system is the communication network of your body, the incredible web of nerves that carries messages from your brain to every organ and every tissue, that allows you to feel and to move and to respond to the world around you. And when this system is not functioning properly, every area of your life is affected. Your ability to move may be compromised. Your ability to feel may be distorted. Your ability to function normally may be severely limited. Prayer for your nervous system is prayer for the very channels through which your brain communicates with your body. It is an invitation for the healing presence to restore proper function to every nerve, to dissolve any blockage or damage that has interrupted the flow of vital messages, to establish perfect communication between your brain and every part of your being. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been diagnosed with a condition affecting his nerves, that he experienced numbness and tingling and weakness that the doctors said might never improve, that he felt like his body was becoming disconnected from his brain, and he did not know how to pray for something as complex as his nervous system. Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that the same intelligence that created this incredibly complex network of nerves understood exactly how to repair it, that God did not need the man's understanding or assistance. God needed only his faith and his willingness to open himself to healing. And the man began to pray for his nervous system with simple trust, imagining healing currents flowing through every nerve, thanking God for the incredible gift of sensation and movement, and over time his symptoms began to improve. The weakness began to lift, and he learned that even the most complex systems of his body could be restored through the power of prayer. Your skin is the largest organ of your body, the protective covering that shields your inner organs from the outside world, that regulates your temperature, that allows you to experience the sense of touch. And this remarkable organ is constantly renewing itself, constantly shedding old cells and creating new ones, constantly demonstrating the creative power of God that is at work within every part of your being. When you pray for your skin, you are praying for the visible expression of your inner health. You are asking the healing presence to restore the integrity and beauty of this protective covering. You are inviting divine wisdom to heal any condition that has affected your skin, whether it be inflammation or infection, dryness or irritation, any of the countless conditions that can cause discomfort and embarrassment and affect your confidence in facing the world. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had suffered from a skin condition for many years, that she had tried every cream and every treatment, that she was embarrassed to be seen in public because of the visible effects of her condition. And Dr. Robinin, Joseph Murphy taught her that her skin was not separate from the rest of her being, that it reflected her inner state, that when she healed the thoughts and beliefs that were contributing to her condition, her skin would begin to heal as well. He taught her to pray for her skin with love and acceptance, to visualize it becoming clear and healthy, to thank God for this remarkable organ that protected her and expressed her to the world, and the woman practiced this prayer faithfully. She changed her inner conversation about her skin. She stopped condemning it and started blessing it, and over time her condition began to clear, her skin began to heal, and she learned that even the most visible and embarrassing conditions could respond to the transforming power of healing prayer. Your eyes are the windows through which you perceive the beauty and wonder of God's creation, the precious organs that allow you to see the faces of those you love, to read the words that inspire and educate you, to navigate the world with confidence and independence. And these remarkable organs respond to prayer with the same sensitivity as every other part of your body. They open themselves to healing when you recognize their importance and speak words of blessing and restoration over them. The infinite intelligence that designed your eyes understood exactly how to create organs that could transform light into images, that could distinguish millions of colors, that could focus on objects near and far with incredible precision. And this same intelligence is present within your eyes right now, ready to heal any damage, restore any function, and establish perfect vision when you invite it through the power of sincere and faithful prayer. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that his vision was deteriorating, that the doctors had told him there was nothing more they could do, that he was facing the prospect of losing his sight and living in darkness for the rest of his days, and Dr. Joseph Murphy taught him that the same God who created light and created the eyes to perceive it was perfectly capable of restoring his vision, that no condition of the eyes was beyond the reach of the healing presence, that faith could accomplish what medicine could not. The man began to pray for his eyes with conviction and feeling. He thanked God for the gift of sight. He visualized healing light entering his eyes and restoring perfect function. He refused to accept the verdict of limitation that had been pronounced over him. And over time his vision began to stabilize and then improve. The doctors could not explain what was happening, but the man knew that the healing power of prayer was doing what no treatment could do, restoring his precious sight and proving once again that every area of the body responds to the presence of God. Your ears are the organs of hearing, the delicate instruments that allow you to perceive the sounds of the world around you, to hear the voices of those you love, to enjoy the beauty of music and the comfort of spoken words. And these precious organs respond to prayer with remarkable sensitivity. They open themselves to healing. When you acknowledge their importance and invite the restoring presence of God to flow through them. The infinite wisdom that designed your ears created one of the most remarkable mechanisms in all of nature, a system so sensitive that it can detect the faintest whisper and so resilient that it can protect itself from the loudest sounds. A marvel of engineering that science has never been able to fully replicate or understand. When you pray for your ears, you are praying for your connection to the world of sound. You are asking the healing presence to restore any function that has been lost, to heal any damage that has been done, to open the channels through which you receive the auditory blessings that enrich your life. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she was losing her hearing, that sounds were becoming muffled and distant, that she was missing conversations and feeling increasingly isolated from the world around her, and Dr. Joseph Murphy taught her to pray for her ears with faith and expectation, to thank God for the gift of hearing, to visualize healing energy flowing through the delicate structures of her inner ear, to trust that the same intelligence that created her hearing could restore it. The woman practiced this prayer daily. She placed her hands over her ears and imagined them filled with healing light. She spoke words of blessing and restoration over these precious organs, and gradually her hearing began to improve. Sounds became clearer, and she discovered that her ears, like every other part of her body, responded to the healing power of prayer. Your brain is the most complex and remarkable organ in your entire body, the seat of your thoughts and memories and emotions, the control center that directs every function of your physical being. And this magnificent organ responds to prayer with the same sensitivity as your heart and your lungs and every other part of your being. It opens itself to healing when you recognize its importance and invite the presence of God to flow through its billions of cells and trillions of connections. The infinite intelligence that designed your brain created a structure so complex that science has only begun to understand it, an organ capable of thoughts and creativity and consciousness itself, a living computer more powerful than any machine ever built by human hands, and this same intelligence is present within your brain right now, ready to heal any damage and establish perfect mental clarity when you invite it through the sacred act of prayer. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that his mind was not as sharp as it used to be, that he struggled to remember things, that he felt a fog descending over his thinking that frightened him and made him wonder what the future would hold. And Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that the brain, like every other organ, was capable of healing and restoration, that the infinite mind of God that created human consciousness was perfectly capable of restoring mental clarity, that prayer could reach the deepest structures of the brain and bring healing where medicine could not. The man began to pray for his brain with faith and determination. He thanked God for the gift of thought and memory. He visualized healing light flooding through every part of his brain. He declared that divine intelligence was restoring perfect function to his mental processes. And over time his thinking became clearer, his memory improved, and he learned that the brain responds to prayer just as readily as any other organ in the body. Your blood is the river of life that flows through every part of your body, carrying oxygen and nutrients to every cell, removing waste and toxins, defending you against disease, and maintaining the delicate balance upon which your health depends. And this precious fluid responds to prayer with the same sensitivity as every solid organ in your being. It purifies itself when you speak words of cleansing over it. It strengthens itself when you invite the healing presence of God to flow through your veins and arteries. The same God who created your blood understood exactly what your body would need to sustain itself, knew precisely how to design a fluid that could carry life to every corner of your being, knew completely how to create a system of vessels that could deliver this life-giving river to trillions of cells without fail. And this same God is present within your blood right now, ready to heal any disorder, restore any balance, and establish perfect circulation when you invite it through the power of prayer. A woman said to Dr. Paris, Joseph Murphy, that she had been diagnosed with a blood disorder, that her blood was not functioning as it should, that she felt weak and tired and frightened about what the future might hold, and Dr. Carey Joseph Murphy taught her to pray for her blood with conviction and faith, to imagine the healing presence of God flowing through her veins like a river of light, cleansing and purifying and restoring perfect function to every component of her blood. The woman practiced this prayer daily. She visualized her blood becoming pure and strong. She thanked God for this river of life that sustained her. And over time, her blood tests began to improve. Her energy returned. Her fear was replaced by faith. And she discovered that even the fluid that flows through her veins responds to the transforming power of healing prayer. Your immune system is the army of defenders that God has placed within your body, the complex network of cells and organs that protects you from disease, that fights off invaders, that identifies and destroys threats before they can harm you. And this remarkable system responds to prayer with incredible sensitivity. It strengthens itself when you speak words of power and protection over it. It becomes more effective when you invite the healing presence of God to guide its operations. The infinite wisdom that designed your immune system created a defense force more sophisticated than any military organization on Earth, a network of sentinels and soldiers that patrols your body constantly, that remembers every enemy it has ever encountered, that adapts and learns and grows stronger with each challenge it faces. And this same wisdom is present within your immune system right now, ready to strengthen what is weak, restore what is damaged, and establish perfect protective function when you invite it through the power of prayer. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that his immune system seemed to have turned against him, that instead of protecting him it was attacking his own body, that the doctors called it an autoimmune condition and said there was no cure, only management. And Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that the same intelligence that created his immune system could reprogram it, could teach it once again to distinguish friend from foe, could restore the proper function that had somehow been lost. The man began to pray for his immune system with faith and patience. He spoke words of wisdom and discernment over his body's defenders. He visualized them recognizing his own cells as friends and attacking only true invaders. He thanked God for the protective army within him and trusted that it could be restored to proper function. And over time his symptoms began to diminish. His flare-ups became less frequent, and he learned that even the most confused immune system could be retrained through the healing power of prayer. Your spine is the central pillar of your physical being, a magnificent column of bones and nerves that holds you upright and allows you to stand tall in the world, that protects the vital cord of nerves through which your brain communicates with every part of your body. And when your spine is not healthy, when pain or misalignment or deterioration has compromised this central structure, every area of your life is affected. Your ability to move is limited, your comfort is stolen, your confidence is shaken, and you may feel like the very foundation of your physical existence is crumbling beneath you. But I tell you today that there is a healing power greater than any condition of the spine. There is a restoring presence that can reach into the deepest structures of your back and bring alignment where there has been disorder, strength where there has been weakness, comfort where there has been unbearable pain. And this power is available to you right now through the sacred and mighty act of healing prayer. The infinite intelligence that designed your spine created a structure of remarkable complexity and beauty, a column of 35 vertebrae perfectly stacked and cushioned, a protective tunnel for the most important nerves in your body, a flexible yet stable pillar that allows you to bend and twist and move in countless ways. And this same intelligence is present within your spine right now, ready to heal what has been damaged, restore what has been lost, and establish perfect spinal health when you invite it through sincere and faithful prayer. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had suffered from back pain for more than 20 years, that she had tried surgery and medication and physical therapy, that she had spent a fortune seeking relief and had almost given up hope of ever living without pain. And Dr. Joseph Murphy taught her that the same God who formed her spine in the beginning was perfectly capable of restoring it now, that no condition was too chronic and no damage was too severe for the healing presence to address, that she needed only to pray with faith and feeling and trust that restoration was possible. The woman began to pray for her spine every day. She visualized each vertebra bathed in healing light. She imagined the discs between them becoming plump and healthy. She felt the nerves within her spinal column functioning perfectly. She thanked God for the central pillar that supported her body and declared that it was being restored to perfect health and alignment. Within a few months, her pain began to diminish. Within a year, she was doing activities she had abandoned decades before, and she learned that even the most stubborn and chronic conditions of the spine could respond to the persistent and faithful application of healing prayer, that no part of the body is beyond the reach of God's restoring power when it is properly invoked. Your joints are the hinges of your body, the remarkable connections between bones that allow you to bend and flex and move with grace and freedom. And when these joints become painful or stiff or swollen, when arthritis or injury or wear has compromised their function, every movement becomes a reminder of your limitation. Every step becomes an exercise in endurance. Every simple task becomes a challenge that you must overcome with effort and pain. But I tell you today that there is no joint in your body that is beyond the reach of God's healing power. There is no condition of inflammation or deterioration that the infinite presence cannot address. There is no stiffness or swelling that cannot be dissolved by the mighty currents of healing that flow through you when you pray with faith and conviction and complete trust in the restoring power of God. The same intelligence that designed your joints to move smoothly and freely, that created the cartilage to cushion them, and the fluid to lubricate them, and the ligaments to stabilize them. This same intelligence is present within every joint of your body right now, ready to reduce inflammation, restore cushioning, increase mobility, and establish perfect function when you invite it through the power of sincere and heartfelt prayer. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that his joints had become so painful and stiff that he dreaded getting out of bed each morning, that the simple act of walking had become an ordeal, that he felt like a prisoner in a body that no longer served him, that he had accepted his condition as an inevitable consequence of aging and had resigned himself to a life of limitation and pain. Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that resignation was not faith, that God had created his joints to function properly, and that this proper function could be restored regardless of his age or the severity of his condition. that he needed only to pray with conviction and visualize his joints becoming healthy and mobile once again. The man began this practice of joint prayer. He spoke words of healing over his knees and his hips and his shoulders and his hands. He imagined them surrounded by warm, healing light. He felt them becoming supple and free. He thanked God for the gift of movement and trusted that it was being restored to him. And over time his pain began to decrease. His mobility began to increase. His mornings became easier. His life became more active. And he discovered that the joints which had seemed permanently damaged could be transformed by the persistent application of healing prayer into instruments of freedom and graceful movement. Your throat and your thyroid are vital areas of your body that control your ability to speak, to swallow, to breathe, and to regulate the energy and metabolism that affect every cell of your being, and when these areas are not functioning properly, when nodules or inflammation or imbalance have compromised their operation, you may feel like you have lost your voice, like your body no longer has the energy it needs, like something essential has been taken from you that you desperately need to reclaim. The throat is the passage through which your words enter the world, through which you express your thoughts and feelings and prayers, through which you take in the air and nourishment that sustain your life, and this vital passageway responds to prayer with remarkable sensitivity. It opens and heals when you speak words of blessing over it. It functions with greater ease when you invite the healing presence of God to flow through it. The thyroid is the master regulator of your metabolism, the small but mighty gland that determines how fast or slow your body operates, that affects your weight and your energy and your mood and countless other aspects of your physical experience. And this important gland responds to prayer just as readily as any other organ. It balances itself when you invite divine wisdom to guide its function. It heals when you trust the infinite intelligence to restore its proper operation. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been diagnosed with a thyroid condition that left her exhausted and depressed, that she had gained weight despite eating very little, that she felt like her body had turned against her, and she did not know how to pray for a gland she barely understood. Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that understanding was not required for healing, that the God who created her thyroid understood it perfectly, that she needed only to place her hand on her throat and pray with simple faith that the infinite wisdom was restoring perfect balance to this vital gland. The woman did as he instructed. She prayed for her thyroid every day. She visualized it producing exactly the right amount of hormones. She thanked God for this small but powerful gland and trusted that it was being restored to perfect function. And within a few months her blood tests showed improvement. Her energy began to return. Her mood began to lift. Her weight began to normalize. And she learned that even the most mysterious and misunderstood parts of her body, your reproductive organs, are sacred parts of your body. The areas through which the miracle of life itself is expressed, through which new human beings are brought into the world, through which intimate connection is made possible. And these precious organs respond to prayer with the same sensitivity as every other part of your being. They heal when you speak words of blessing over them. They function properly when you invite the presence of God to flow through them. They restore themselves when you trust the infinite wisdom that created them to guide their renewal. Many people feel embarrassed or uncomfortable praying for their reproductive organs. They feel that these parts of the body are somehow less spiritual than others, that God is not interested in the health of these intimate areas, but this belief is completely false, for God created every part of your body with equal love and wisdom. God is present in your reproductive organs just as surely as in your heart and your brain. God cares about the health of these areas just as much as any other aspect of your physical being. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been struggling with problems in her reproductive system, that she had been told she might never be able to have children, that she felt incomplete and ashamed and did not know how to pray for something so personal and so painful, and Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that God knew the deepest desires of her heart, that the same creative power that brought all life into being was perfectly capable of restoring fertility, that she should pray without embarrassment or shame, speaking words of blessing and healing over her reproductive organs and trusting that God would respond to her sincere request. The woman overcame her hesitation and began to pray for these intimate areas of her body. She visualized them functioning perfectly. She thanked God for creating her as a woman with the potential for life. She trusted that healing was taking place even when she could not see it. And within a year she had conceived. Within 2 years she held her healthy baby in her arms. And she knew that the prayer she had been almost too embarrassed to pray had been heard and answered by the God who cares for every part of her being. Whether you are praying for fertility or for healing from disease, whether you are praying for proper function or for freedom from pain, know that your reproductive organs deserve the same loving prayer attention as every other area of your body, and that God will respond to your sincere requests with the same healing power that is available for every organ and every system. Your hands and your feet are the instruments through which you interact with the physical world. The remarkable extremities that allow you to touch and hold and create, to walk and run and dance, to express yourself through gesture and movement, to perform the countless tasks that make up your daily life, and when these precious parts of your body are in pain or are not functioning properly, every aspect of your existence is affected. Your independence is threatened, your ability to work and play and serve others is compromised, and you may feel like you have lost essential tools that you cannot live without. But I tell you today that there is no condition of the hands or feet that is beyond the reach of God's healing power. There is no pain or numbness or weakness or deformity that the infinite presence cannot address. There is no limitation that cannot be overcome when you pray with faith and conviction and complete trust in the restoring power of the divine. The same intelligence that designed your hands with their incredible dexterity, that created fingers capable of the finest movements and the strongest grips, that placed thousands of nerve endings in your fingertips to give you the sense of touch, this same intelligence is present in your hands right now, ready to heal whatever has been damaged and restore whatever has been lost. The same wisdom that designed your feet to carry the weight of your entire body, that created arches for support and toes for balance and heels for stability, that made it possible for you to walk mile after mile on these remarkable foundations, this same wisdom is present in your feet right now, ready to dissolve pain and restore strength and establish perfect function when you invite it through the power of prayer. A man said to Dr. Kusha, Joseph Murphy, that his hands had become so painful and weak that he could barely hold a cup of coffee, that his feet hurt so much that every step was agony, that he felt like his body was failing him from the extremities inward and he was terrified of what would come next. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught him to pray for his hands and feet with specific attention, to hold his hands before him and speak words of healing over each finger and each joint, to place his awareness on his feet and visualize them becoming strong and pain-free, to thank God for these marvelous instruments and trust that they were being restored to perfect function. The man practiced this prayer faithfully, giving attention to his hands in the morning and his feet in the evening, visualizing them filled with healing light, feeling them becoming stronger and more comfortable with each passing day, and over time the pain began to diminish, the strength began to return, the function began to improve, and he learned that even the farthest reaches of his body, the very ends of his arms and legs, responded to the faithful application of healing prayer. Your stomach is the sacred vessel into which you place the food that sustains your life, the remarkable organ that receives everything you eat and begins the miraculous process of transforming it into the energy and building materials your body needs to function and heal and grow stronger with each passing day. And when your stomach is not healthy, when acid or ulcers or inflammation or any other condition has disrupted its proper function, every meal becomes a source of anxiety rather than nourishment. Every bite of food becomes a potential trigger for pain and discomfort, and the simple act of eating, which should be one of life's great pleasures, becomes an ordeal that you dread and try to avoid. But I tell you today that there is no condition of the stomach that is beyond the reach of God's healing power. There is no ulcer that cannot be healed. There is no inflammation that cannot be calmed. There is no acid imbalance that cannot be corrected. There is no digestive disorder that cannot be overcome when you learn to pray for your stomach with faith and conviction and complete trust in the infinite healing presence that dwells within this vital organ. The same intelligence that designed your stomach to receive and process food, that created the powerful acids to break down what you eat, that lined this organ with a protective coating to shield it from its own digestive powers, that coordinated the complex process of churning and mixing and releasing that moves food through your system. This same intelligence is present in your stomach right now, fully aware of any condition that is developed, fully capable of restoring proper function, fully ready to heal whatever has been damaged when you invite it through the sacred act of sincere and heartfelt prayer. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had suffered from stomach problems for as long as she could remember, that she had been diagnosed with ulcers and acid reflux and a dozen other conditions over the years, that she had taken every medication and followed every diet and eliminated every food that might trigger her symptoms, and still her stomach caused her constant distress. Still she lived in fear of the next flare-up. Still she felt like her own body was her enemy rather than her friend. Dr. Joseph Murphy listened to her story with compassion and then asked her a question that changed her life forever. He asked her what she thought about while she was eating, what words she spoke about her food, what beliefs she held about her stomach and its ability to digest what she gave it. The woman admitted that she approached every meal with fear and suspicion, that she examined every bite for potential danger, that she expected her stomach to rebel against whatever she ate, that she had programmed her subconscious mind with years of negative expectations and fearful anticipation. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught her that her stomach was responding to her beliefs as much as to her food, that the same subconscious mind that controlled her digestion was being programmed by her fearful thoughts, that she needed to change her mental approach to eating before her physical symptoms would permanently improve. He taught her to pray before every meal, not a quick and mechanical blessing, but a sincere and heartfelt recognition that God was present in her stomach, that divine wisdom was guiding her digestion, that the food she was about to eat would be perfectly processed and would nourish every cell of her body. He taught her to visualize her stomach as a healthy and capable organ, to see it receiving food with ease and processing it with perfect efficiency, to feel gratitude for this remarkable vessel that had served her faithfully for so many years despite the negative thoughts she had directed toward it. The woman began this practice of stomach prayer and positive visualization. She changed her mental approach to eating. She stopped expecting problems and started expecting perfect digestion. She thanked her stomach for its faithful service and apologized for the years of criticism and fear she had directed toward it. Within a few weeks, her symptoms began to diminish. Within a few months, she was eating foods she had avoided for years, without any discomfort. Within a year, her doctors told her that her stomach showed no signs of the conditions that had plagued her for so long. And she knew that the healing had come not from any pill or procedure, but from the transformation of her thoughts and the power of her prayers directed with faith and love toward this vital organ that had only ever tried to serve her well. Your pancreas and your gallbladder are organs that many people never think about until something goes wrong with them. Hidden helpers that work silently and constantly to keep your body functioning properly, to regulate your blood sugar, to produce the enzymes that digest your food, to store and release the bile that breaks down fats, and when these organs are not healthy, when stones or inflammation or dysfunction have compromised their operation, the effects can be devastating, the pain can be excruciating, the consequences for your overall health can be severe and far-reaching. But I tell you today that these hidden organs are just as precious to God as your heart and your lungs and every other part of your body, that the infinite healing presence is just as available to your pancreas and your gallbladder as to any organ you can see or touch. That prayer can reach into the deepest recesses of your abdomen and bring healing to these faithful servants that have worked so hard for so long without any recognition or appreciation from you. The same intelligence that designed your pancreas to produce insulin in exactly the right amounts, that created this organ to sense the sugar in your blood and respond with perfect precision, that gave it the ability to produce the digestive enzymes that break down proteins and fats and carbohydrates, this same intelligence is present in your pancreas right now, fully capable of restoring any function that has been lost, fully prepared to establish perfect operation when you invite it, through the power of sincere and faithful prayer. The same wisdom that designed your gallbladder to store and concentrate the bile produced by your liver, that created this small but important organ to release its contents at exactly the right moment to aid in the digestion of fats, that gave it the ability to function perfectly for decades without any conscious attention from you. This same wisdom is present in your gallbladder right now, ready to dissolve any stones that have formed, ready to calm any inflammation that has developed, ready to restore perfect function when you recognize its importance and pray for its healing. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he had been diagnosed with a condition affecting his pancreas, that his blood sugar was out of control, that he had been told he would need to take medication for the rest of his life and might eventually need insulin injections, and he felt like his body had betrayed him, like he was facing a future of endless medical management and declining health. Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that no organ was beyond the reach of healing, that the pancreas responded to prayer just as readily as any other part of the body, that the same God who created this remarkable organ in the first place was perfectly capable of restoring its function, and that faith in prayer could accomplish what medication could only manage. The man began to pray for his pancreas every day, placing his hand over his abdomen and speaking words of healing and restoration to this organ he had never thought about before, visualizing it producing exactly the right amount of insulin, imagining it functioning perfectly and keeping his blood sugar in perfect balance. He thanked God for creating such a remarkable organ. He apologized for the years of neglect and poor eating habits that had stressed his pancreas. He committed to supporting his healing prayers with healthy choices, and he trusted that restoration was taking place even when he could not see it or feel it. Over the following months, his blood sugar began to stabilize, his need for medication began to decrease. His doctors were surprised and pleased by his improvement, and he learned that even the most hidden and neglected organs of his body could respond to the faithful and persistent application of healing prayer. Another woman came to Dr. Joseph Murphy with a different problem. She had been suffering from attacks of pain caused by gallstones. She had been told that her gallbladder needed to be removed, but she was afraid of surgery and wondered if there was another way. Dr. Joseph Murphy taught her to pray for her gallbladder with faith and conviction, to visualize the stones dissolving and passing harmlessly from her body, to trust that the infinite intelligence knew exactly how to restore this small but important organ to perfect health. The woman prayed as he instructed. She refused to give in to fear. She trusted that healing was possible, and within a few months her tests showed that the stones had significantly decreased in size. Within a year, they were gone entirely. And she kept her gallbladder and learned that prayer could accomplish what surgery had seemed to require. Your bladder and your urinary system are essential components of your body's waste removal process, the organs that filter and store and eliminate the liquid waste that your kidneys produce, that keep your body clean and free of toxins, that function countless times every day without any conscious direction from you. And when these organs are not healthy, when infection or stones or weakness or any other condition has compromised their function, every hour of your day is affected, your comfort is stolen, your sleep is interrupted, your confidence is shaken, and you may feel like you have lost control of one of your body's most basic functions. But I tell you today that there is no condition of the bladder or urinary system that is beyond the reach of God's healing power. There is no infection that cannot be cleared. There is no stone that cannot be dissolved. There is no weakness that cannot be strengthened. There is no dysfunction that cannot be corrected when you learn to pray for these essential organs with faith and conviction and complete trust in the infinite healing presence that dwells within every part of your being. The same intelligence that designed your bladder to store urine safely until you are ready to release it, that created muscles strong enough to hold and flexible enough to expand, that placed nerves to signal when you need to empty and sphincters to control the release. This same intelligence is present in your bladder right now, fully aware of any condition that has developed, fully capable of restoring proper function, fully ready to heal whatever has been damaged when you invite it through the sacred and mighty act of healing prayer. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been suffering from repeated bladder infections for years, that she had taken antibiotics again and again only to have the infections return, that she was embarrassed and frustrated and exhausted from dealing with this chronic problem that never seemed to fully resolve, that she was beginning to think she would simply have to accept this condition as part of her life. Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that acceptance of disease was never God's will for her, that chronic conditions were not inevitable sentences she had to serve, that her bladder was capable of healing just as completely as any other organ, and that prayer could accomplish what antibiotics had failed to achieve. He taught her to pray for her bladder specifically and personally, to imagine it surrounded by healing light, to visualize it becoming strong and healthy and resistant to infection, to speak words of blessing and protection over this faithful organ that had served her throughout her life. He also taught her to examine her thoughts and emotions, to consider whether she was holding on to resentments or grievances that might be affecting her urinary health. For the bladder is an organ of release, and when we hold on to things emotionally that we should let go of, our physical organs of release may suffer as a result. The woman took this teaching to heart. She began praying for her bladder every day. She also began releasing old hurts and resentments that she had been carrying for years. She forgave people who had wronged her. She let go of grievances she had been nursing. She cleaned out the emotional toxins just as she wanted her body to clean out the physical toxins. And as she did this inner work while also praying for her physical healing, her infections became less frequent, then stopped entirely. And she learned that the healing of the bladder often requires the healing of the emotions as well, that our organs of elimination respond to our willingness to release what no longer serves us on every level of our being. A man came to Dr. Joseph Murphy with a different problem. He had developed a condition that made it difficult for him to empty his bladder completely, that caused him to wake multiple times every night, that made him feel old and weak and embarrassed, and he wondered if there was any point in praying for something so personal and so physical. Dr. Joseph Murphy assured him that God cared about every aspect of his health, that no problem was too personal or too physical for prayer, that the infinite healing presence did not distinguish between noble organs and embarrassing ones, that all were equally precious and all were equally capable of being healed. The man began to pray as Dr. Joseph Murphy instructed, and over time his symptoms improved, his nights became more restful, his confidence returned, and he learned that prayer knows no boundaries and no limitations, that it can reach any organ and heal any condition when it is offered with sincere faith and heartfelt conviction. Your entire body is a temple of the living God, a sacred dwelling place of the infinite presence that created you and sustains you and is ready at this very moment to heal you in every area of your being, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, from the surface of your skin to the deepest recesses of your internal organs, from the largest structures of bone and muscle to the smallest cells and molecules that make up your physical form. When you understand this truth, when you truly grasp that God is not far away in some distant heaven, but is present within you right now, dwelling in every cell of your body, operating in every organ, flowing through every system, you will never again feel alone in your struggle for health. You will never again feel abandoned to your diseases. You will never again feel that healing is beyond your reach or that prayer is powerless to help you. The healing presence of God is within you at this very moment. It is not something you need to seek or find or earn or deserve. It is your birthright as a living being. It is the natural inheritance of everyone who has been formed by the creative power of the infinite. It is present in your body right now regardless of what conditions may have developed, regardless of what symptoms you may be experiencing, regardless of what diagnosis you may have received, regardless of how long you have been suffering or how hopeless your situation may seem. When you pray for healing in every area of your body, you are not asking God to come from somewhere else and visit your body for a moment. You are recognizing the God who is already there. You are acknowledging the presence who has never left you. You are opening yourself to the power that has been waiting for your recognition and your invitation to flow more freely through every organ and every tissue and every cell of your being. A man said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that he felt overwhelmed by the number of health problems he was facing, that it seemed like every part of his body was failing at once, that he did not know how to pray for so many different conditions, that he was exhausted from trying to address each problem separately and felt like he was losing a battle on multiple fronts. Dr. Joseph Murphy told him that he did not need many different prayers for many different problems, that he needed only one prayer, one great opening of himself to the infinite healing presence that was capable of addressing every condition simultaneously, that was present in every organ at once, that knew exactly what every part of his body needed without being told. He taught the man to pray not for specific organs, but for his whole being, to declare that the healing presence of God was flowing through every cell of his body from head to toe, to visualize a river of healing light entering through the top of his head and flowing down through his brain and his eyes and his ears, through his throat and his thyroid, through his heart and his lungs, through his liver and his stomach and his pancreas, through his intestines and his kidneys and his bladder, through his reproductive organs and his bones and his muscles and his joints, down through his legs and his feet, touching every organ and every tissue along the way, healing whatever needed healing, restoring whatever needed restoring, strengthening whatever needed strengthening. The man found this whole-body prayer much more manageable than trying to address each condition separately. He practiced it every morning and every evening. He felt the healing presence flowing through him like a river of light. He trusted that the infinite intelligence knew what every part of him needed, and over time his conditions began to improve, not just one or two, but many of them. And he learned that when we open ourselves to God's healing presence for our whole being, that presence is capable of addressing every need simultaneously, is capable of healing in ways we could never orchestrate on our own, is capable of restoring health in every area of our body when we trust it completely. As we come to the end of this journey through every area of your body, I want you to understand that the healing prayer you have learned is not a one-time event but a way of life, not a technique you use when you are sick, but a practice you maintain when you are well, not a desperate measure for emergencies, but a daily communion with the infinite healing presence that wants nothing more than to see you thrive and flourish in perfect health and radiant vitality. The prayers you speak today for your heart and your lungs, for your bones and your muscles, for every organ and every system of your being, these prayers are seeds that you plant in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. And like all seeds, they need time to grow, they need nurturing and attention. They need to be watered with repetition and warmed with feeling. And when you tend these prayer seeds faithfully day after day, they will produce a harvest of health that will transform your physical experience and prove to you once and for all that God's healing power is real and available and effective in every area of your body. The infinite healing presence that you have been calling upon throughout this teaching is not a force that comes and goes. It is not a power that helps you sometimes and abandons you at other times. It is the constant and unchanging reality of your being. It is the truth of who you are beneath all appearances of sickness and disease. It is the foundation upon which your body was built and the power by which it is sustained every moment of every day. When you pray for healing, you are not trying to manipulate this presence or convince it to help you. You are simply aligning yourself with it. You are opening yourself to receive what it has always wanted to give you. You are removing the mental and emotional blocks that have prevented its full expression in your physical form. A woman said to Dr. Joseph Murphy that she had been healed of a serious condition through prayer, that her doctors could not explain her recovery, that she felt like she had been given a new lease on life, but she was worried that her condition might return, that she might somehow lose the healing she had received, that her miracle might be taken away from her as mysteriously as it had come. Dr. Joseph Murphy told her that healing was not a gift that could be taken back, but it was a state that needed to be maintained, that the same prayers and attitudes that had brought her healing needed to continue in order to sustain it, that she should not stop praying just because her symptoms had disappeared, that she should make healing prayer a permanent part of her daily life so that her body would remain aligned with the infinite healing presence that had restored it. He taught her to pray not just when she felt sick, but especially when she felt well, to thank God every day for her health, to visualize every organ of her body functioning perfectly, to declare that the healing presence was maintaining her in perfect condition, to guard her thoughts against fear and worry and negative expectation, to fill her mind with images of health and vitality and strength. The woman followed this teaching for the rest of her life. She never stopped praying for her health, even when she felt perfectly well. She maintained her alignment with the healing presence year after year, and her healing proved to be permanent. Her condition never returned, and she lived to an advanced age in excellent health, a living testimony to the power of sustained and faithful prayer. And so I say to you today, make healing prayer for every area of your body a permanent practice in your life. Not something you do only when problems arise, but something you do every day as part of your communion with the infinite presence that dwells within you. Pray for your heart and your lungs. Pray for your liver and your kidneys. Pray for your brain and your nerves. Pray for your bones and your muscles and your joints. Pray for your skin and your eyes and your ears. Pray for every organ and every system from head to toe, and as you pray, know that the healing presence is responding. Know that restoration is taking place. Know that perfect health is being established in every area of your being. For this is God's will for you. This is your birthright as a child of the infinite. This is the truth of your being that is now being expressed in every cell and every tissue and every organ of your body, and so it is, and so it shall be, now and forevermore.